Welcome back, everybody, as we watch the series make its way to map number 3 after Mad Lions fumbled away a massive lead going into that second half. But Dust, they fought back. They forced it into overtime. They just didn't have enough on their defensive side to really make sense of that map. And as a result, G2 take it, and we're moving to map 3.
It's the classic fake comeback, Bach. I've seen it time and time again in my many years as an esports broadcaster. You can kind of smell it sometimes. You can kind of see it coming. But props where props are due. I mean, this game really came down to, A, how efficient G2's B attacks and post plants were on the attacking side, and then B, the fact that Oxy could not be stopped, like, for the vast majority of this game. The dude was getting double entry kills so many times, and that combination really just propelled G2 forward to make a comeback despite Mad Lions having a pretty solid attacking half of their own. I mean, that they played, very solid in their own right in the first half. They just did not have an answer to G2's attacking side. I mean, look at Oxy, near 40 frags, near 400, ACS, like 10 first kills. The guy was nuts.
Yeah, Oxy went crazy, but then in the rounds where Oxy didn't, right, you're looking at defense for Mad Lions, and they just need a couple rounds, right? They don't have to be perfect. They just need to get it done. Just when you think they found an answer, it was Dapper out towards mid being such a problem, finding kills through mid doors. I mean, and when I say through mid doors, I mean actually spamming through mid doors. 2 times that happened. I think he found Bjor both times. One of the times he killed Narrate, who was ripping off the Blade Storm and trying to fight out towards mid early. And so just when Mad Lions needed things to be not perfect, but pretty close to it, just a couple of times, if it wasn't Oxy to do it, Dapper was there to just be kind of that on the side.
I gotta say, I look at the framers of this map as the ones who are successful. They're the ones who put up the walls. That's a construction joke. I'm looking at the fact that you've got a Harbor and you've got a Viper. I actually think that Penny's impact in this match cannot be felt on any statistical column. But if you watch how many kills they sprayed through his walls, I mean, it was getting a little out of hand. They just couldn't find a solution to deal with the amount of control that G2 was bringing to the board. Now, as we take a look at our third map in the series, and we can pull up the map pool just so you can see where we're going to be going and how we're ending up there, we are going back to very familiar territory for OG players. We're going to Bind, a map that's been out of the pool for a little bit of time, and we're excited to see it brought back.
Praise be. Praise be.
I'm
Dude,
not sure, though. Hold on.
If I had to watch another Icebox game, bro, I was going to lose my mind. I'm so happy Bind is back. I know today's Cinco de Mayo, but I'm celebrating this, bro. Like, this is huge for me personally. Big fan of Bind. Always have been. Always thought it got hated on a little bit too much by those who didn't like it. I think it's been improved upon. And, yeah, Icebox was staler than a crouton. So I'm pretty happy to be here.
But honestly, that's what people said about Bind for a while. Like, the reason they didn't want to play Bind anymore is because it was just they've been playing it for so long. They needed a change. Now, I get that. I think the hatred for Icebox is maybe a little bit more vitriolic in nature. I think that, people are like, I don't really like Bind. People are like, I hate Icebox. Yeah. It's definitely a completely different attitude that is coming to the table. But I am kind of curious to see how well both of these teams play this map. We haven't really seen enough to really understand what they're going to do.
We hadn't seen anything at all from G2. They've yet to play it, ever. Yeah. So, I mean, like, you really have nothing to go on there. You really do. I mean, I don't know how you would watch it, Bach. I don't know if you're, like, able to tap into the astral form and, like, maybe into the future. And, I mean, you have called a lot of things, so it's definitely possible. But, yeah, the one time that Mad Lions played it was it not against TSM La Loss, a close one? But that's the only time you've seen them play it. So the sample size is very small for both teams. And for G2, well, it's non-existent.
Yeah, non-existent. It does kind of like make me rack my brain as to how everything's going to lay out, right? Like, what are G2 going to play? Because we just saw kind of cringe post plant. And I say cringe, but it's cringe to play against. So that's why I use the word cringe. It's obviously that's where we're at right now. Do we see something similar, right? Do we see a Viper? Do we see a Brimstone for G2? Do we also see the same? Is it Trick going to be playing the Raze for Mad Lions? Like, there's a lot of shakeup here.
This is a speculation, but I think that this Bind, the way it's set up now, plays very well for a double controller of Brimstone Harbor. I think that is a... I don't know if anyone's going to do it, but that's just like a speculation I have. I think that's going to be very powerful. Obviously, Raze is going to be your primary duelist if you play one. Obviously, Sky can be very big on this map. Something along those lines. So if I had to predict, I'm going to guess one of the compositions is Ray, Sky, Brim, Harbor. I don't know about the 5th agent. Like, is it a Sentinel or is it another initiator? Like that I don't know.
I mean, I would actually even argue that you could see Viper Harbor. I feel like more teams are starting to warm up to Harbor and his versatility. I was just talking about it in a casual conversation with someone the other day about how I think teams could start playing that on Ascent, and we could see teams who are liking, say, a Viper for control on that map, complementing it with a Harbor because of the ways that it opens up parts of the map that maybe otherwise would be difficult to get into. And I think more and more teams are starting to realize, hey, like, maybe Harbor isn't as bad an agent as we all thought. We just had to figure out how to play with him. But I guess we'll get our answers to that question here as the agent select for our 3rd map in the series is just about ready to begin. It's G2 and Mad Lions locking horns. Winner will walk away with the dub. Take it away.
Do it, Mad Lions. Yes, please. Keep rolling. Keep rolling. Yes. All the way. All the way. Yeah, I'm all right. I'm a prophet. I'm a prophet.
You meant G2, right? You said Mad Lions, but you meant G2, right?
I did not. I just said one team will play Brimstone and Harbor, but I was wrong because it's Brimstone Viper, which is the old school double controller.
You're saying that there is a Brimstone and there is a Harbor.
Unfortunately, they were supposed to be on the same team.
Yeah, but almost mirrored outside of the Harbor and the Brimstone in that the next option, which is, I mean, we'll see how it plays out, but this, again, we're literally setting ourselves up for get on the site, get the spike down, get off the site, right? Whether it be a Cove or a Sage Wall, or just the Sage Wall on the side of Mad Lions, that is the play. Now, when we saw this earlier, though, earlier in the week, that is, we saw the defense having a pretty good time. We saw attacking teams really get choked up inside hookah, inside short, not really having the best time getting onto these sites. So we'll see if that stays the same. As Box said it as we left, 1-1 in the series. This is the first win around the corner for one of these two teams.
G2 trying to get a little bit aggressive here defensively, pushing showers with Shazam. Yor was kind of there to spot that. Obviously has Ainge playing short side. Spike kind of playing its way through Garden, clearing the area. Obviously still has a chance to teleport if need be to meet up with the A players. Kind of leaving their options open in that regard.
Teleport out, Stim behind it. Shazam still here. We'll back away from it. Smokes are down. Looking like an A hit here, but Oxy finds the first kill, neutralizes Narrate for now with that. Mad Lions completely stopped in their tracks. They'll try and play from the cross, and this is a larger doorway to play with. Not a big enough angle and showers, though, to get away from the paint shells. And Oxy has had himself a field day from 40 kills into the last just about. He finds 3 more in the pistol round, and it belongs to G2.
Those paint shells were glorious from Oxy, dude. The first one was timed so perfectly to what Mad Lions were trying to do, chasing down Shazam. Earns himself a second one, has a man trapped in the corner. And so while it might be a wider doorway, Tanner, grenades still go boom.
Yeah.
And they do still wreck you as you try to come through it. Like, that hasn't changed.
More to see, but also more to get shot from. Then yeah, there was just no way out. I think it might have been Trick who was stuck in the corner when the paint shells came through. And G2 maybe looking to make it a statement here in map 3. This win over Mad Lions, I think, for the organization is supposed to be the series win that gets the momentum moving forward throughout the rest of Split 2. And although they might not need the most wins to qualify for those playoffs, you don't want to be looking like the weakest team going into that.
I mean, here's the thing. If Mad Lions loses this game, they're done. Like, they can't make playoffs mathematically anymore. And even if they were to win this game, it would still be very difficult to do. Maybe borderline impossible, but at least it would be possible.
See ya!
As we are going to see Oxy grab that kill on the black card here on this bonus from G2, or not really a bonus, more of a just anti-eco.
Yeah, it's a strong one, though. 2 Vandals, a Spectre, 2 Ghosts. Mad Lions, however, allowed here on the side. Ainge looking to go deep into it. Penny gets a little bit of damage, but forced to back away. Now, what do they have in the post? They have 1 Snake Bite, Boombot. See if they choose to use it. Good flash up the top for Trick. Ainge once more going to try and take the fight. Wins that one out. Actually, up top goes Oxy. Paint shell's just over, and I mean, G2 run out of time. They want to find these kills. They're going to have to do so now. A classic across the map here. Bjorn does it again. Shazam gets sat down. No incendiary to force him off. No way. No way. Bjorn with the classic. Name a better duo. It's all up to Oxy. And Bjorn does it for 4.
What? This Bjorn teeing off with the classic. It was a classic. It wasn't even like bogus up close right click classic.
No.
It was from range tapping classic.
Thrifty.
What? Dude. That's ridiculous. What an eco win for Mad Lions. What a way to start the pot early, bro. Didn't have to wait long for this water to boil.
I mean, that just doesn't make any sense. And now we go back to map 1 was economy issues. This makes the economy stink for G2. It gets completely flipped on its head. The bonus for Mad Lions will come next round, depending on how much they save here in this one. And they've got 4 rifle, or all 5 rifles, excuse me. And Oxy's been dealt with. That is the raid boss down. Whippy to step out and try his hand at a fight, but Bjorn will win it out, inching closer and closer to that orbital strike.
Yeah, and that's why Brim's so strong on this map, is his orbital strike can cover so much area of the map, like, you know, canceling out anybody playing U-Haul position, for example, on the A side of the map. It's kind of the most popular place to see it. Also, just the stems and smoke combinations can be so good with the Rays and other players in this composition. So we're going to see the spike get planted here by Bjorn with safety of the barrier orb. Just 3 players left here for G2 and not much to work with.
Walls up. Yeah, they're gonna have to work their way through U-Haul here or deal with this wall, and they don't have the best weapons to do so. So Penny will hack at it with the sword. Dapper there to help him out. Incendiary expended just in case they want to ensure a round win. And with that bit of util with those kills, it seems they have a flawless round now for Mad Lions after picking up a thrifty victory. And a 2-1 lead is where they land.
Yeah, they win that eco. They follow it up. Was never really any doubts about that. G2 back onto the full buy, though. Showstopper available for Oxy. Bjorn, Orbital Strike available for his squad. So both teams with an ult to spend on this one. No ops on the field, all rifles. I like it.
Man, Oxy just finding kills that he should not. Misses the first few shots. Hit ADS, by the way, comes out of it. Finds a kill onto narrate. It means the showstopper won't be here for G2 in this round, but...
Yeah. I like what you're seeing, though, already. The fact that they have Harbor and the Sky means they can pressure the periphery of both sides of the map, right? Like, you can cascade one, dotting light the other. It gives you just a nice way to kind of keep pressure on the edges defensively, as well as, like, you know, having the other utility to slow down the attack, you know, if there's some type of follow-up action from Mad Lion. So kind of like what G2 has cooking here as far as how they're using their utility early, but it is equal footing. Mad Lions slight edge in that regard, as they're on the attacking side and looking to light up a fake with the U-Haul, Orbital Strike, and a push out hookah.
Toxins going up.
They didn't really sell it. Fortunately, the Incendiary finds that kill onto Whippy, but that was one of 2 defenders that were here on the site. Dapper finds a kill onto Trick, and Shazam gets dealt with as he cuts down the wall. He falls himself. And the 2A defenders now to rotate over towards this B site. Penny a bit lower in HP. We'll see what they have to do this. Credit's not the best. The player down. RG2, but I mean, they're full force here in the retake.
They are sitting indeed. Cove there to try to shield as the fuse. Been broken already, though.
One enemy remaining.
And the util kind of working against them, right? They don't know where these shots are coming from. This Viper screen is here, the toxic screen. The high tide just on the other side. Penny gonna try and fight for some of these kills. Wall goes down. There's no time on the clock. Buell will find the kill either way. Working back towards that orbital strike. Mad Lions will find a third, resetting G2 Esports.
Yeah, so the fake didn't have as much impact on the rotations as Mad Lions was probably hoping for, but they're still successful nonetheless, just by finding the entries. Huge kill from Blackheart on the Shazam to help get that spike down in the first place after his barrier got broke at Garden. That was probably like the tipping point. A newcomer to the team having some impact on that round, that's for sure. Now it is the low buy for G2. Sheriffs everywhere. Couple of stingers. We're seeing Narrate finding the opening draw there onto Penny at Showers. This will kind of unlock the floodgates in a way. Was going to see a little bit of a press there at the Trailblazer, but kind of gets swatted back. And it's just kind of Mad Lions settling back into somewhat of a default situation with really no map control, though. It's kind of the problem. Again, they have mana advantage and firepower advantage, though, and they have time. But, oh, Oxy. And he has been on point. So we are going to see the corners cleared here by the Molotov. Spike coming down into B. G2 just kind of gamble stacking on A, which is kind of what you have to do in a round like this. Can't really fault them, as we did have an issue with Tanner's PC, so that's why it's kind of a solo cast right now. I'm not dogging the man. Just trying to cover for him, as we'll try to get him back in here. I'm already missing Tanner. He's only been gone for about 10 seconds. As a nice little frag there from Oxy again with the Sheriff, until all of a sudden the Showstopper's out, and now this retake has some legs to it. Bior, though, with the flank on to hookah position, will keep it at an equal 3-on-3 situation. Tough to get any type of safe diffuse on this spike with it planted in such an open position. Now the clock dwindling as well, and Oxy, he tried his damnedest to get something going, but just not enough. Mad Lions will now go up 4-1. G2 able to buy back, though. Reckoning also available for potential retake situation, or if they want to get aggressive with it and try to make a play off it. Again, I like what they're doing by spreading the Sky and the Harbor out across the map and you know, kind of pressuring the periphery, but they do need to be able to find the frags as well and find the follow-ups. It's nice to deny some early map control and intel to the attacking side, but it still is going to come down to actually making the final defense on the site, so to speak, as we are going to see an early short A pressure here. Trailblazer and Toxic Screen kind of guiding the attack forward. Saxing across the control. U-Haul is going to be Narrate. Penny trying to counter with the Cascade, but between that and the Stake Bite, they will slow the spike plant from going down. There is still one block of ice left for Ames to plant behind on this barrier. Viper's Pit going to go down as well for post-plant.
Headshot.
And now Bior looking to try to mop up the rest of this.
No charges.
Just holding down to the fort, just as this Viper's Pit is looking to do. Oxy gonna work his way through. Penny for some fights. Whippy here. Narrate gets one back. Spike.
And Tanner's gonzo. His mic said no. Yes, we are back into the heat of this. Narrate with the great frag there with the Showstopper, stopping that diffuse from going through, and Penny now has no choice but to just back off and save. And so Mad Lions with another dominant start to an attacking half. We've seen this one before this series already a couple of times. The action was just too much for Tanner's Mixer. Just couldn't handle it. G2 can't handle it either. They're calling the timeout here. You know what's crazy, though? Is Whippy's webcam quality has improved drastically. I'm not sure what he did, but he is looking real nice right now. I guess we had to sacrifice Tanner's technology for Whippy's to get upgraded, but I don't know if it was worth it in the end. I'd like to have Tanner. That's a great start here from Mad Lions. They continue to try to work towards this upset. Obviously, pulling off Split was already an upset in itself. Pearl was a back-and-forth affair in the sense that both teams had massive defensive sides that led to an overtime, but G2 ultimately comes out on top to force the third here on Bind. And Bind was kind of no man's land. Didn't really know what to expect. G2 hadn't played it yet at all. Mad Lions only had the one match. I believe it was against TSM that they lost. Very tight game there. I think it was 10-13 if I'm not mistaken. And so we're kind of in the dark. We're kind of all learning together, chat, and all the viewer parties out there. Shout out to you folks out there. Always love the viewer parties, the support the community gives these teams, and competitive Valorant in general. And let's see here, G2 little to work with. Guiding lights cross paths here at Long B. Narrate will use it to press forward towards Garden. Trailblazer coming out to clear away into hookah position. Is going to get the tag there onto Oxy and kind of force him back a bit, though he is getting reinforced by Penny. They will maintain position here on this B defense.
Toxins going up.
Ainge catches a little bit of Dapper there, going to do a little bit of damage, but now this Poison Orb will block him from making any more progress. Trailblazer will detect that there's still some presence outside B here from Mad Lions, which we know is actually really the main prong of this attack. They're going to look to follow that entry up from Narrate rather quickly, it seems. And Oxy trying to hide in the corner. Going to get caught by the guiding light there and taken out. Now it's all on Shazam. Trying to defend as Whitby tries to make the rotation. Whitby actually doubles up with the Sheriff, but is pushed back into the back halls behind a smoke and a Molotov. As it is going to be the spike making its way in. A res coming through as well, and there is an orbital strike at the ready if Bior finds an opportunity to put it to use.
30 seconds.
Here comes that spike plant, double elbow, retake attempt here from Dapper and Whitby, but just a stinger and a Sheriff though, and Blackheart's Vandal will be enough to handle it alone. And here we have it, 6-1 for Mad Lions. And we have a third attempt from Tanner to make his return, and he's 0 for 3. Everybody please send your positive energy to Tanner. He needs it more than ever right now. He probably needs a few other things as well, like working technology, better internet, all kinds of things, really. But maybe your hopes and positive energy will help. Might box step in here in a second to help me out a little bit until we get Tanner sorted. Meanwhile, Mad Lions is totally sorted. They are just continuing to lay this attack on thick. Over the strike. Oxy tries to escape from it with the satchels, but unable to do so. As Bjorn will find the entry frag here. This was a buyback round from G2, which is Sam almost getting caught there, a little down the half, and he can't heal himself. Great catch, though, for Penny onto Narrate, as well as a double up there onto Bjorn. Trick eventually able to trade. Ainge finds Shazam, and so it's going to be a 3-on-2 for Mad Lions, despite some early hiccups. Dapper making that rotation into Hookah. They're going to respond by teleporting over to A side to get away from this rotation. Res, though, will now be available for Whippy because the attacking side has rotated off the site. Now, Ainge has been left behind, though. And so Ainge can cut off this rotation, and indeed he does find Whippy until he gets it back to a 3-on-2 post plant.
Dust, I think the problem that people are having is
Oh,
you.
boy.
It's not a Tanner problem, because this happened to Shift, too. This only happened twice, all split, and both times they were casting with you. I think you got toxic internet, dog.
One enemy remaining.
I don't know, man. All I know is that Mad Lions are out here doing the thing. You know what I mean?
This is what we've
They
seen from
ecoed
them,
round
though,
2,
Dust.
and then they just haven't stopped.
This is the attacking side prowess we've seen so far throughout the series. It seems like Mad Lions has a pretty good handle on how to play the attacking side. It's when they swap that things get a little bit weird. It gets a little bit difficult for them to handle. And I also look at G2's composition, and I feel like this comp with the Harbor and the Viper is going to play really nicely on the attacking side. They just have to get there with a little bit more pad. They cannot go down some absurd scoreline like a 10-2 at half. That'll just be too much. They won't have any forgiveness on their attacking side.
Yeah, I mean, this is the 4th round they've been forced into this type of low-buy situation or worse. And I mean, again, it all got started by getting ecoed in round 2, and they just never really been able to recover from it. They've had a couple of moments where it looked like they were going to fight back and get it into some close number situations, but they've never been able to, fully convert on that. And Bach, what's funny is while Tanner's gone due to his technical issues, there's a thunderstorm outside my house, so you might be alone. You might be going from host to solo casting, baby. I'm just letting you know.
Hey, it's like it's 2014 all over again. I'm out here.
We're back, baby.
If we want to just tell the production team to go, I'll take over that too. I'll start observing. We'll just find a way.
Oh, bro, I don't miss those days. Let me tell you what, I don't miss them at all. Because we were on opposite sides of that at one point, working for different companies, doing the exact same thing, being the observer and the caster and the producer and the guy uploading the stream. It was a lot. It was a lot.
But hey, exposure.
Yeah.
them exposure dollars really working out well.
Best currency in esports.
30 seconds
Exposure. Nah, I get paid these days. Thank you very much, Riot and Pittsburgh Knights.
The big opener for Mad Lions is a sentence we've said a couple times already here in this first half, and it looks like they're going to find more out of this. No, Oxy actually gets the pick up onto Trick. There's a follow-up from Narrate, though. The late plant coming in from Mad Lions, but control is definitely theirs, and they've got the bodies as well as the economic instability working in their favor. You can see Whippy and Shazam on Sheriff. You've got Penny with a lowly Stinger. It's not exactly the best players to be put in that position either, just based on what these agents bring to the table. Penny with a Stinger as Harbor not going to be as vital to the play as, say, Oxy would be, given the mobility. But here comes a flash around the corner. There's the wall coming out as well. And they'll start to spam through. They're not going to find anything just yet, but they got the lineups, dog.
Yep. All
Nothing
the
you can do.
lineups. Nope. Oh, look at
One
Narrate
enemy
getting around the
remaining.
corner as well. Insult to injury. 8-1 Mad Lions. I mean, you're just hitting another gear right now, man. It's great to see, too, because we know how much Mad Lions has struggled. You know, from day one to now, it has been an uphill climb each and every way you can look at it. Made roster changes, didn't find instant results off the back of it, the split. But now up against G2, they're finally getting something going.
I mean, I think all the way back to week one of the first split, they beat TSM 13-2 on Icebox, and we're like, okay, this team could be legit. Nope.
Nope.
They got dumped
And
on.
1-4 record.
13-10, 13-10 in the rest of those maps. They got 2-0'd by DSG. They only won 5 rounds across that series. They got 2-0'd by M80. They only won 12 rounds across that series. So I mean, it just
The
was
resume
rough.
is pretty bleak.
Yeah, it was rough.
They were trying to, you know, apply for a tech CEO position with a McDonald's work experience. That's what was going on there. But now they're turning it around this match. That's for sure.
The changes they made, I wasn't even sure what to expect out of this roster, but it's clearly working out for them. And sometimes it's a little bit of luck. Trick, just gets lucky through the wall and picks off Penny. And there's another one for Ange, who's lurked his way all the way up. Oxy had no idea. And the round has quickly fallen apart again here for G2, as Mad Lions looks to put number 9 on the board, but that's an accepted number. We all know that.
Stop.
What, are you saying that didn't happen already this game?
Stop. I just need you to stop. Okay? You've been able to cozy up in your little host position between maps and just kind of chill and relax in your lazy boy, eat your whatever food company we might be no, we're not.
No,
okay,
we
so
don't.
just
Generic snacks, Acme snacks.
your generic snack of choice, because we're not giving anybody any free shout outs, although I did give a fast food restaurant one just a second ago.
Now you just have to shout out all the other fast food restaurants to equalize.
One enemy
all of them.
remaining.
Oh,
Yes. No. Pass. Hard pass.
All right, Whippy. I mean, it's going to be tough. It was a 1v5. He's just trying to stay alive, but it is not going to be. 9 rounds for Mad Lions. You know, we joked about it at times in the past that, you know, they didn't look much like lions, more like kittens, but finally the roar has been restored. This team is definitely looking a lot more fierce. Just in the last couple of weeks since they made the
How
roster
many more can you fit in? Keep going. I want to see how many more you can get in there.
I don't know. Something about Simba.
Pride Rock.
Yeah, there you go. They're trying to return
Mufasa.
to Pride Rock.
Yeah.
Right now, G2's looking like Scar. After the movie ended, not in the middle.
Yeah. In the middle, he was kind of dominating.
Maybe that was like map 2, second half. They were.
Yeah, that's when he was dumping Mufasa off the side and the people. What was it? Antelopes, I guess. I don't
Who
know.
are the
They trampled the man.
hyenas, though? I guess it's us.
Yeah, that's us. Just cackling noise in the background that
we
no one
won't
wants to
stop
hear.
talking.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God.
You've nailed it. We've gotten all the way here.
Fire in the hole!
All right, well, there's the can opener on the round as Neri pops the ult to Showstopper. Gains space that they pretty much already had anyway, but it just guarantees it, as they've already been vacated off the site. So it's a 5-on-5 post plan. Look at the ult right now they have for the other side, though. There's the nade going out. That nade could be huge. Look at the way it segments them. You've got Dapper coming around the corner now alone, and I don't think they were prepared for this. Dapper just full W. He never once slowed down, and the utility is piling up, but Blackheart manages to spray two through the Viper ult, but it'll all be up Dapper, or to Blackheart, excuse me, and it will be the second round. And I'm told that we've got Tanner Mutro unmuted. He's returned.
Last round in the half.
Has he, though? We'll see.
I'm
test it
trying, man.
out.
Listen, hey, I owe both of you guys a dinner. I swear, I owe both of you guys a dinner for holding down the fort for me. Bach, you
All
especially.
right, let's specify what type of dinner we're talking about here. I need
Come
to know.
to Arizona. I'm taking both of you guys. Steak
oh, wow,
44.
so I have to pay
for-
an exorbitant travel
Okay,
fee
hold on.
to get this free
If you're
dinner?
ever in Arizona, let me rephrase. If you're ever in Arizona, I'm taking you guys Wagyu steak. How's that sound? Both of you guys.
Oh, Bach. That's an offer. Let's see if we can find a freeway to Arizona to get this free Wagyu steak dinner. As we got one more round left for you here in the second half, that Mad Lion, or first half, that Mad Lions has been, they've been dominating, but G2 finally fought one back there. It was their first round since the pistol. Wait, is Tanner gone again?
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay. You typed some stuff in chat that made me question.
No, I am here. I'm letting the
All
round
right.
breathe a little bit. I'm also
Okay.
letting my utility here breathe, much like we got a bit just a second too late there from Penny. Trick finds the first kill, looks to run the Harbor down with the Trailblazer. Does find. Oh, a tag there. No, not actually stunned, so Penny will leap his way through it, but that kill does not come to fruition. 10 HP is where the Harbor lands as he jumps away.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you solo cast for a bit to make up for all of your lost time. So you can continue, please.
Yeah, I'm here for it. Listen, this is
Go on.
where I got my start here in the solo cast. As Oxy gets dealt with on the flank, that's not the person you wanted to go down next. G2 still fighting for their 9-3 half, and they're expecting a hit out towards
30
that B
seconds
site.
left.
2 of 3 defenders are out that way. It's only Dapper just around the corner. Meanwhile, Bjor, oh, never mind. They've got the right
Bye-bye.
read. Dapper's done enough just sitting here. The snake in the grass as he rotates, though. Bjor deal with him. Yes, he does. Dapper tries to leap away. It's not going to be enough. Meanwhile, Shazam needs to hold down the 40. Found his one, but needs to find some more. The spike is falling. The teleports are taken. The shots are through the wall. And the half is 10-2 for Mad Lion.
Yeah, what a
Switching
half.
sides.
I know you didn't get to see most of it because you were busy restarting your computer about 5 different times and, you know, testing 2 different microphones and whatever other products
I
that
was
you
hitting it
want
with
to
a
throw out
rock,
there.
actually. That's all. I was just hitting my computer with a rock.
There is a certain point where you do just like come to this desperate moment where you tried it all and you're like, maybe if I just hit it, it'll work. maybe if I just tap it a few times. Remember back in the day when you had to blow into the cartridge, like
Yes.
for your, the game cartridge? Like, come on, baby. And that didn't work, then you definitely like, you know, hit your game console of choice a few times, a couple little taps. And sometimes it magically just starts working. Same with monitors, man. I found that happens too. By no means, by the way, by no means am I encouraging people to break their equipment. I just want to be very clear about that. I don't want that misconception out there.
Yeah, don't tap too hard.
Yeah, a nice, gentle, reassuring tap that you're encouraging the product to work.
And the barrier orb has done its job. That has since been tapped through, broken. A site now looking to be tapped into. Oxy out on the front foot. This is what works for G2. Get Oxy into the mix. And the rest will come to fruition. Narrate. Oh, just can't sneak away. It looked like he thought he was out. He tried to turn around and eventually will get punished for it. Bjor find that kill on the backside. Oxy goes down, but the trades are good.
One
Cove is up,
enemy
Spike
remaining.
is down, and now there's only Ainge to try and work his way back into this 1v4.
I'm not liking his odds.
We saw what Bjor did with the Classic. Maybe Ainge can
His
take
odds
a...
still might be better than your mic lasting the rest of this day, though, so...
True. Fortunately, we have a long break in between series, so I'll have some time to
Let that put people
go
down.
back to it. I'll have to listen to the interview through my monitor speakers because those are the only things that were
Monitor
working for a
speakers. Can you
second.
imagine? They still make those? There's still monitors with speakers inside of them?
I just bought a brand new monitor, 165 hertz. It's got speakers in it.
Dang. All
You should
right.
hear these bad boys bump.
Remember back in the day, you could get these crazy CRT monitors that had massive speakers in them. They're ridiculous. Anyway. Let's get
Sorry,
back into the thick of it.
I was the special guest to the stream coming back, and then the class gets all crazy because the special guest is there and the teacher can't reel it in, which is production trying to reel us in here on the desk. E2 off on the right foot. Trick, unfortunately, too far forward, dealt with by Dapper. So Flash is gone now for the side of Mad Lions. And Blackheart will also try his hand at it. Shots exchanged, but it's only damage thus far.
I like how he walked back at first, and he's like, you know what? Actually, I am
Yeah.
going to try this. And then Dapper's like, I'm still here. As he's now looking to position over towards short. And oh, he finds his man on Shazam. Spike will quickly get reclaimed by Penny, obviously. And again, they still maintain a pretty massive advantage here, firepower-wise, as Whoopi catches Bior trying to march down long B. So G2 just playing default, minding their P's and Q's, catching the defensive aggression, and still very much in the driver's seat of this round. Unless Blackheart can keep TN off. Ooh.
Yeah, allowed the duel with Dapper there once more, but it ends much the same. Shots going wide. Right click over the top, though. Good paint shells there from Narrate. We'll split Oxy from the group. One right click. Oh, but a couple of left clicks later, and that ghost decapitates to the souls. Will leave the bodies there of Narrate and Blackheart. And, well, very similar to the round previous. Ainge in a 1v4. Only a classic to work with, and well, things end the same.
And so G2 starting to whittle away at this big lead from Mad Lions with a couple of rounds to kick off their attacking side, but now they'll find themselves on almost equal footing. Mad Lions do still have the Spectre on Trick, but full rifles for everybody else. No ult on the board for either side. Closest one, 2-1 would be Shazam. He's a couple away from the Seekers, but outside of that, it might be some time before we see an ult broken out. First big test for G2 on the attack. With this comp, see what they can come up with. Very quick showers control.
It's Oxy again. Oh, beautiful utility there. Blackheart, for whatever reason, tanks that boom bot there. It only takes a couple of body shots as he tries to sneak away, and, well, the Sage is buried.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. Like you said, he just kind of took that head on, and then the paint shells is a great follow-up, as well as the spray down there. So free showers control for G2 early and an early man advantage to go along with it. That's huge for them. They're going to be very happy with that opening sequence. Nothing like getting some good old free map control and man advantage. Keeping that presence by breaking that Trailblazer. The rest of the squad, though, still playing pretty default here. They're not committing to really anything. But this is kind of your typical bind. I mean, while the map has changed quite a lot, the way that the default kind of work is still very similar.
I've got your
There is
trail.
Seekers now from Shazam.
And Mad Lions kind of just left guessing. They have to make plays like this where they put their body on the line for information, and Trick is the first sacrifice teleporter taken. Bjork gonna be hearing all this. Oh my goodness, as the cascade goes through, Bjork able to reel in the shots. Narrate here. Try and put a pin in it as well, and with 14 seconds, Whippy in a really tough spot. Spotted himself, gonna go up top on the wall. The L-shaped box, a player on the other side. Ainge gonna take the fight from heaven, and Mad Lions will get this streak going once more.
This is a beautiful play from Bior. Not only does he get the frag, able to get the Molotov down to block the rest of any type of short pressure so he can focus on the cross out of showers, which he's able to do here, finding Shazam, finding a second. Penny really needs to get that trade. That was a big miss and a big opportunity for Bior to capitalize on, and that team will now find themselves at 11, just 2 away from dealing G2 an 0-3 start to the split. Not at all we expected.
No, not at all. 0-3 start after first place in your group, a second place overall in the mid-season face-off. Very high hopes and high expectations for G2 Esports. And like you mentioned, it's to avoid an 0-3 start, it's going to take heroics, to say the least.
Yeah, and they're not even facing the big name teams in these losses. They lost to OR Esports, which was the worst team of the first split, just behind Mad Lions. Then they lost to Moist Moguls, which fair enough. It was a 3-match series, and Moist Moguls are a legit team. But Mad Lions has really struggled. And while we have been impressed via the eye test with what Mad Lions has been able to cook up this series for sure, it's still a game where you expect G2 to come out on top based on what we saw in the mid-season face-off.
They're doing it for the content right now. They're just making everybody worry. Social media managers going crazy on the timeline. G2 then slowly start to claw their way back in, and that's seemingly the G2 way. Or
oh, what a counter molly! What a counter molly on this transition. Cove gets broken immediately. They're eating a lot of damage trying to get into the site.
And that is not a safe place to be. Shazam is able to find some refuge here. Backs away.
Down A. Last player standing. Grenade!
What a round from Narrate. 3 kills from Heaven position. Again, beautiful timing from Bior on that Molotov as he caught them trying to teleport back through to Showers for an A attack, slowed them down. Cove got broken pretty quick. A lot of spam damage comes through. And Narrate kind of cleans it up. That's it. Map and series point, baby. Tanner?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, sorry. I haven't left you yet. I haven't left you yet.
Okay, man.
There will be. I'll ping you.
Every time, let's say any time that I don't hear you talk for like 3 seconds straight, I'm like, oh man, he's gone, isn't he?
And you know, I conditioned you to feel that way because I let it breathe for a long time, and then I just disappeared, and I didn't tell you why I left, so I apologize for that. Orbital Strike gonna force. I mean, the fight for Showers here for Mad Lions. They're not giving up anything for free to G2. If you want this space, you have to fight for it. As I say that, though, they've crept their way up a short. A couple of smokes will come down, and these two set their eyes elsewhere. Now, this is our first look at Bind from this G2 roster, and we weren't too sure what to expect. Again, it would take... this would be a tough comeback for the best teams with 2 Stingers, 2 Spectres, and a Guardian only to work with.
Yeah, and Mad's playing some nice angles here to just kind of jiggle peek and get information and be able to back off. Blackheart will slow down the long portion of the attack. Poison Orb blocks off the hookah portion of the attack. And now here comes the spam through from Narrate on the teleport. 2-for-1 trade there. That's certainly going to favor Mad Lions.
Found one.
They still have Seekers available, I think, for Trick. Just deploys them.
30 seconds left. For you.
And the defense, we've seen this a couple of times where Mad Lions, they just don't move. They just still give respect to the option that G2 can be playing on the opposite side of the map or be looking to rotate, and that's exactly the call. Sage Wall goes up, no push from U-Haul, flash on the other side, and the Guns are starting to find kills here. Guardian and a Spectre to get it done for the 2 here on the site. Meanwhile, the Crunch, one from the top, one from Showers. It's Ange, it's Blackheart. They'll have to go fishing through the swamp. Shazam just around the corner from getting backstabbed, but he backs away in the corner perfectly.
Yeah, it looks like G2 has this pretty much on lock at this point, just based on the Viper spit, based on Shazam's positioning. Whippy catches Blackheart, that pretty much ensures it now. Unless Ainge can pop off, he gets one. There's just not really much time left to do much more. So he will back down. And so G2 will hang around at least a little bit longer. They find a 5th round on the board. Obviously, they still have a ton of work to do to threaten an overtime. But first step accomplished, I guess you could say, on that long checklist.
Yeah, I mean, not bad, all things considered. This was a round where the Showers fight was everything for Mad Lions, and I think they used 2 ultimates for it, right? So, heavy expenditures there. Timeout gets called. It's going to take 7 in a row, and it's actually Mad Lions. They're nipping this in the butt.
You said but. My maturity levels are at all-time high.
There's all the Lion King talk that was happening earlier.
Yeah, that's what it was. You were bringing me back down with all these, like, Disney movies from my past, and it brought my inner child out. As certainly the timeout could maybe be trying to put a halt to the energy and momentum that G2 are trying to get together to make this comeback happen. I'm going to go ahead and start making some adjustments. Again, I think they're doing a great job. Bior's anchoring very nicely with his utility. He's been countering the pushes very well. Obviously, Trick can find that early info at the Guiding Lights. You got Blackheart who can use the barrier and orbs to kind of slow things down. So they have a lot going for them in that regard. Like the double controller meta of the past of Bind is still kind of present, even on this new version of the map.
Showers control name of the game. Last couple of rounds this time. G2 get this one uncontested. You're on an island here with the judge. That, I mean, this could be a round for Bjor, surely.
Yeah, just trying to play that smoke with that. Oh boy, that's saddening.
Yeah, gives it up way too early. Whippy ready for the flank narrate. Finds that kill in response, but still not the best guns to work with. Now down a player. Penny gonna try and creep up towards Shazam. Oxy gonna try and beat out utility here. Boombot gets some information. Penny healed up. Finding headshots. Trick is gone. Now the last two that remain, they don't remain for long. Reload though for Oxy means Blackheart finds one more kill on the round. How much more can he take with them? Phantom in hand. Shazam headed for the hills. Dapper just around the corner. Damage name of the game. Unfortunately, Blackheart can't find any.
So G2 bring yet another round through. Obviously, that was a bit of a crunch for Mad Lions when it came to being able to put a buy together on that one. And now we had G2 coming to this round with 4 ults on the table. So definitely maintaining the resource advantage as they try to continue this comeback climb. Won the last couple of rounds in a row. Obviously had the pistol and follow-up as well, and that's how they've been able to shrink this gap just a touch, but still a lot of work left to be done.
Poison Cloud to do some good chip damage. Should they look to work through this one? Boombot behind it as well. Blazer dealt with. Oh no, maybe. Oh, what? Okay, Narrate finds a kill. It didn't even look like Oxy was looking at Trick, but still able to get one back.
Yeah, that's a tough one. They're going to be able to get the res right back, though, however. So that player's right back on the board. And they will get healed up as well. So basically, they get the trade that they wanted in the end at Garden. Defense split to a piece. Still not really sure where to expect this attack to come from.
I suggest you move.
And here comes the dead call. Narrate able to get one back. Reckoning and force the players. I mean, just all sorts of chaos here. Just dancing around, trying not to get stunned, but they're walking into the sight lines of G2.
30 seconds left.
Blackheart has a resurrection, but there's just not a body really in a good spot to be res. Spam through the sky smoke, finds Blackheart eventually dead. It was just damage at first, but Shazam makes good on it. Will close out the kill there. And Ainge is no stranger to 1v4s, also no stranger to a loss in a 1v4s. G2 put together another round. And I asked this on Pearl, more so for G2, but now I'm thinking about for Mad Lions here, Dusk. At what point does it get scary, right? At what point are you thinking, you know, we just don't have these guys figured out at all?
Well, I mean, that was a round where G2 spent all 4 ults they had to win the round in a full buy situation. So that is a tough one, especially that Reckoning on site. It's just so brutal. So, and in this round, you don't have a full buy. I would say if they lose their next buy round, that's when you start getting concerned. That's when you would start to kind of, maybe not full panic, but the sweat starts to bead. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See if they can muster up anything here. Ooh, shots go wide for Narrate. Can't even find damage onto Penny. It's an early player erased for Mad Lions.
Indeed. Blackheart trying to play a little bit of a tricky angle with that barrier orb here over the top of the sight boxes. Try to play a bit of a headshot, but no one really going to give him anything to look at. Bjor Playing that up close angle in showers, but Shazam somewhat detects it with that guiding light and will avoid it. Ainge gets found out being aggressive over at this hookah position. Oxy has that covered. So that's just Boombot available to clear it out as well if they want to double back into a B split.
Man, you're the judge again, just not gonna be able to get any value. Shot lands for Blackheart. Paint Shell is going to force the Sage off the angle. Survives in doing so. Ainge now tucked away, but not the safest of places. Around the corner. Good sheriff shot there to the back of the head of Oxy. Picks up the rifle, backs away. Shots out from Hookah. Mad Lions are starting to piece together a couple of kills. Unfortunately, not enough. As G2, they've claimed this B site. Will get that spike planted, and it is that judge in the hands of Bjor. Well, actually, this is probably a scarier weapon.
You're about to say, did you see him use that classic earlier? Now watch out for this man. But yeah, this one is going to be pretty much all she wrote. But Mad Lions will be back onto a full buy next round. They should be on pretty much equal footing with G2 when it comes to resources. And that is where you started to get concerned if they blunder that one. That's when all of a sudden overtime becomes a reality you have to start considering. Because after your next full buy, you're probably back to saving again. That's when G2 start getting close to double digits, and then it gets really messy at that point.
There it is, an 8th confirmed. As that spike blows, door goes down to it. 3 ults now available. Narrate with the showstopper. We'll see if G2 are expecting something aggressive. Last time we saw that ultimate, it went through showers. This time, Narrate leans out towards B. It is seemingly a bit more passive. I don't know if this is a double blast pack from the top of Tube or if this is just the position that Narrate wants to play. We'll see when that ult does eventually come to fruition.
Big round here, that's for sure. Shazam trying to get some info with that Trailblazer, but Utility kind of stuffs it, and now Trick will actually reclaim the angle and get the intel that they've backed off. We could still see a skirmish here eventually as both teams are still kind of maintaining position by this area. A little bit of jump peeking going on here by Trick. Boombot will kind of chase him off. Great counter smoke though from Bjor. Oxy forces through it, gets stunned. This could be a problem.
Oh. Wow, so huge there. Only gets 1, no damage mitigated. As good damage from the rocket means Trick will find another. And as Oxy walks away from the play, 9 HP on the raise. This could be the round that Mad Lions close it out.
Yeah, there's no way to heal either because Shazam's down. So Oxy's just stuck on low health. Viper's Pit still intact at short A. Yeah, it can get bypassed by a Showers push, but even that's smoked off, and it's being watched right now by Blackheart, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he's jump peeking it. Slow orb goes down.
30 seconds
and
left.
Mad Lions seem to have this figured out. Oh, what?
That's, I mean,
One enemy
that's just Dapper doing Dapper things. Unfortunately, he stopped right there as Penny finds himself alone. A tall task here. A snake behind him. That of Ainge with the Viper's Pit. 2 players now working their way through this spawn. Cove to keep him safe for now. Cover and concealment. 2 players swing. 1 player goes down, but that's not enough for G2, and Mad Lions have done it. They scoop up their first win, their first series win, and it's against G2 Esports.
Defenders win.
Yeah, indeed. As one team gets their first win, G2 gets dealt their 3rd loss of the split, 0-3. A tough follow-up to what was a pretty brilliant first split and mid-season face-off performance where they took 2nd overall. But Mad Lions, again, looked just so impressive, particularly on their attacking sides on all 3 maps. It just looked like a well-oiled machine. The team play was great. I think that's where they beat G2, honestly, is team play. As we'll bring Bach back into the fold. As Bach, you kind of had an early return with a little bit of casting, but now we have you back full-time here to kind of wrap this series up.
I mean, I think you nailed it, Dust. The attacking side was Mad Lions' bread and butter. There was 8-4 on Split, 9-3 on Pearl, 10-2 here on Bind. We talked about the stepping up of performance, looking at their Pearl matches leading into today. Well, we saw it with their attacking side map by map. they got better and better on that attacking side. Does that mean that this was a flawless victory coming in from Mad Lions? Absolutely not. There's definitely some things to work on there with their defensive side, but their attacking side looks lights out, and it's proving that it could be a problem for teams that are facing off against them in the coming weeks. I do worry, though. Dust is like, man, is it too little, too late? Like, what if this had started in week 1? What if this had started in split 1? If they were able to find this form before, if they had made these changes sooner, there's all those questions that start to pop up in your head.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I would say it's most likely too late as far as the playoff picture is concerned. There's maybe some small outside chance that if they went out and they go 3-2 in this group and some other things go their way, maybe there's some way they sneak into like a last seed position, but it's kind of unlikely. Regardless, it's still good to at least see them continue to put forth the effort, continue to try to grind away and improve as a unit. Again, the eye test certainly passed today when it came to their team play. I thought they played excellent. While Narrate has continued to be a force to be reckoned with, again, he was a stats leader coming into this for the entirety of challengers when it comes to ADR, ACS, and KPR. I think the big one is how much Trick stepped up in the first 2 maps in particular was like huge for them. And really, in general, Narrate had a good supporting cast today when it came to individual performances on top of the superior team play.
Yeah, I also want to just give a shout to Narrate. I wasn't sure if we were going to get Narrate just kind of stuck on the Jet only. That's how he joined the team, just a crazy kind of ranked Jet player or duelist player. Trick usually helms the Raze role, but he has to play the Sky here if Narrate goes on the Raze, and it looks just as good as any Jet map from Narrate. So shout out to that young duelist for continuing to be one of the best players in Challengers, but, you know, with what he's been given, the guy just makes it work.
Yeah, I want to say, and I don't know this 100% for certain, but I think he only had and it was less than 10 official mats under his belt before he joined this Mad Lions. I think it was 8, if I wasn't mistaken. So I think people don't realize, just how, even at least some of the other guys, like Sim and Oxy, had, academy team experience, something. You know, yeah, it was, lower tier in comparison to Challengers, but they had a building block of some sort. Narrate had nothing, dude. Like you said, this guy was just a rank demon. And, yeah, he has definitely been very impressive throughout Challengers, despite maybe some of the team's overall shortcomings throughout the splits.
The narrative coming into it, or I guess we should say the narrative.
I was waiting for you to do that at some point. It took you a while, but now you're here.
You know, I really agree with you guys. It was this kid who was coming in that we were all just kind of like, I don't know. I was just all hands. I'm like, I don't know what to expect from this young player because we hadn't seen anything really that was substantial. And clearly, we have not spent enough time talking about him because of the fact that Mad Lions has struggled. It was like one of those things when you were even requesting the graphics for today, Dustin, you're like, he's actually number 1 in the stat categories. It's like, wait, really? Because you don't see it. It's like it's overshadowed by the fact that Mad Lions has struggled so many times in the past that you just don't recognize that this young player has just been sitting in the shadows like, hey, when's the light going to shine on me finally? And now he gets this opportunity here. They find a win, and it's huge for Mad Lions. We'll see what it does for them moving forward. We are going to go ahead and throw things to the post-series highlights. When we come back, we'll be jumping into the post-match interview before our second match of the day. Stay tuned.
One enemy remaining. I face one enemy remaining. Clutch. Spike down A. One enemy remaining. Spike down A. One enemy remaining.
You will not kill my ally.
Spike down A. One. Spike down A. One. Last player standing.
Grounded.
One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.
Stay down.
One enemy remaining. Last player standing. One enemy remaining.
Well, my friends, they say that some things in life are worth waiting for, and this one is no exception here as Mad Lions finds a big win here in the second split to take down G2. The team coming in is the number 2 team out of the mid-season face-off. In surprising fashion, they even take them down on what would considerably be home turf in split, which means it's time for a Mad Lions interview as we welcome Trick here to the broadcast. Massive congratulations to you striking down the Giants at G2.
Thank you. Thank you.
I got to ask you something here. Coming into Split 2, you guys make roster changes. Split 1 didn't go your way. Obviously, we all know what happened. How did you identify Blackheart and Bure as the options that would work out best for you guys?
Well, we wanted to have a player who actually played the Sentinel role, and there's not a lot on the market. That's not even a jab. It's just that Bure played Killjoy way back before Chamber meta, so he was like the obvious pick. He deserved to be here, so that was easy for us. Blackheart and Trials, he just added a lot to our team. When we started scrimming with Blackheart, we started to just beat everybody. So that's kind of how they came about.
You mentioned scrims, and there was something we noticed in the video piece leading into this match. You basically alluded to the fact that your practice and your scrims, the results were fantastic, but it wasn't, creating wins when it mattered in your matches effectively. Why do you think your match results didn't follow the same results as your scrims and practices?
I think I can't speak for everybody on my team, but overall, our persistent, constant aggro plays and scrims and timings. I'm not saying that we're like you run it down somewhere. I'm saying that the other team takes space here, like that fluent reaction to take space elsewhere or re-clear it. We were doing that all the time in scrims. We were doing it well. We're having insanely good reads, but in matches we're hesitant, right? We weren't taking that extra fight. We weren't taking that extra risk, right? So once we calmed their nerves down and we started to take those risks, it pays off. I think it really is just an experience thing. As we get better and more match experience, I think it'll start to translate a lot.
I mean, you've got players on the team. We were even just talking about it. We were praising Nary. We forgot even that coming into today, Nary basically had no experience playing whatsoever at a level of this. So to see him actually not only rise to the occasion, but excel against teams of maybe what many would consider higher caliber players is an illustration of the hard work that you guys have been putting in behind the scenes. Now, looking at this pool specifically, you end up on Split, you end up on Pearl, and you end up on Bind. It's pretty much understood that if you're playing G2, you're going to play Split unless you banned it. So what gave you the confidence to float Split, knowing that that is very comfortable territory for them?
Yeah, so we are really, really good on Split. It's unfortunate that weren't able to demonstrate that in the phase match. I was actually on all high graphic settings, so I'm gonna use that one as the excuse. But yeah, so we were not scared of their Split at all. I think my calling on Split on T side is too disruptive. It's too easy to sell solo fakes. So if the team is not, so that team was playing a off meta comp kind of, and they weren't taking control of the map. That allowed us to sell fakes and double fakes easily since they had no control of our mains or any aggressive info. So we were allowed to walk into bomb sites for free, sell solo fakes. They were leaving bomb sites empty. So yeah, it was pretty easy to go through that.
Now Pearl starts just as good as Split. You guys are looking fantastic on your attacking side, but then you switch to the defense. What exactly happened that allowed G2 to get back in the game? What were the mistakes you guys were making that was opening up avenues for them?
I mean, realistically, it was just our fault for not having a set good B retake. You can't really retake it from the front. You either need to flood or flank. We struggled to do both in scrims, and we didn't spend enough time fixing it. Honestly, between matches, you only have 4 scrim days or 3 scrim days. So it's tough to fit everything in, but that'll be next on our schedule to make sure that we can actually retake B from the flank or flood retake, position ourselves to do that. So that was really our fault. Other than that, I think Riot just designing that bomb site to be beautiful is mostly the issue.
You a big fan of that map?
I love Pearl, but that bomb site just with Harbor and Viper, just unreal.
It's tough. It's a lot of control. It's very difficult to get over. That's why maybe on the defensive side it doesn't work so well for them, but on the attacking side it's very difficult to do much of anything about that. Looking at your third map, you end up on Bind, an even more impressive half. You went 8-4 on map 1, 9-3 on map 2, 10-2 on Bind on your attacking side. The attacking side's just continued to get better. But again, you switch over to the defense and you start to hit a speed bump. Was there ever a point in your mind where you're like, oh God, please no, not again?
Dude, on Bind and even on the second half of Pearl, it was there was a round that I flashed into spawn on Bind and I jump flashed and Oxy just 1Ds me out of the air. That kid is just insane. I mean, obviously I've played with him, I know it. He's just incredible. And he is really the one who mounted that. So many impact kills that he had, clutch situations. He wasn't out here 1v2ing, right? But it'd be a 5v5 post lane, he gets 2. There was one round we faked on Pearl, and me and Narrate walked into the street. He full blind killed me, put out a shorty and killed Narrate. It's just unbelievable the impact that guy has.
I remember
But
the
on
round.
Vine, going into the defense half, they were able to like stack their ults early, but then they made a huge mistake. It was something along the lines like 12-8 or maybe something like that, and they used like all 5 ults. So then from there, it was very easy for us to close out that last round after the eco because they really need to be like saving it all there, have some sort of win con because once we Viper ulted, they didn't have any real win con back into the round.
Well, regardless of why it happened, and you guys find a big win, one that you desperately needed, and you could kind of tell that when we spoke with you in the video piece before, you're alluding to the fact that, hey, a path to playoffs might be there, but it's going to be tough at this point. But regardless, you play for the week. You don't play for what's happening. You just play every single match individually, and I congratulate you for that one. We have one last question. This one does come from the fan zone. This one's going to be from one of the members of the production team, our replay operator, Shelton. He actually asks, what is an underrated skin line?
Ooh, the Araxes. I don't even know if that's how you say it. I only use it on the tournament client. It's that one for sure.
Okay, so I am not a skin guy. I normally don't spend my money on skins, but I managed to win some sort of like lock-in prediction contest with people on Twitter, and that was a gift. I didn't even know it was a prize. And I've since now, that's the only skins that I really have in the game that are worth anything, so I vouch for that skin line as well. Anyway, congratulations on the win once again. I'll let you go celebrate with the team.
Thank you. See ya.
Well, we still have another match coming up for today. It's going to be Oxygen versus TSM, as one more team will be landing on a 2-1 record as if we didn't already have enough. We'll be back in just a bit.